Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you all, wherever you are joining me at this hour. Welcome to the 30th edition of Investdata Trading Academy live with Ambrose. Yes, at this session, I want to look at what has happened over the weekend and also as market has opened this morning. You can see that market is not smiling locally here. But I want to start by this by saying that as to speak now, global stock markets are looking down as investors monitor the talks from what all the happenings from Ukraine and the ongoing war. You understand the conflict that has been there for this almost getting extended to some 3 weeks and some days now. We still count a month. See, it has kind of drive volatility in the market, up and down. But also coupled with the just rate hike in matured market also is what investors are globally are watching at and looking at where it's going to go. And while locally here, everybody is aware that MPC meeting is also going on as we speak. And because it's going on, we are waiting to see what will be the outcome of the MPC meeting. But in that direction, one thing is that as we speak, oil price have surged with over 4% again. And this oil price surging, you know what it means. When oil price rallying, it's also triggered some pressure on inflation, because as oil price is rising, price of goods also will go in that direction, and that is why some mature economy is trying to adjust to hike their rate, sorry, to just to control their inflation, as the inflation is almost hitting a 40 years high over there. But I believe that with what is happening in the market, this is not the time to just go to the market and play with your phone. It is the time for you to know how to use your stop loss effectively, and also your entry and your exit strategy, as I always emphasize, and your profit target. Don't be greedy with where the market is going. Once you are able to achieve your target, that is why you must have plan to trade. Don't trade your plan. But if you have a plan and you are disciplined, that will help you to get consistent return and also be able to manage what your result, your tradable fund. But when you don't have plan, you are buying because others are buying, or you are being tossed up and down. No, like what happened today now. When we look at the chart, our chart, we saw that there's a missed sentiment and also missed signal. We communicate to our people in the buy and sell signal, hold down your position, because we know that yes, MPC meeting between today and tomorrow, the outcome also will change the face of the market. But all eyes is still looking at what is happening in Ukraine and in Russia, Ukraine and Russia as to speak. But locally here, we are already in the last getting to the last week of the month of March, and knowing that March is a special month that has that end the first quarter of the year. And because the end of the year, we expected that at this period, the blessing will be there. And this is the last month that we expect account, December year account to hit the market. And if this number comes, don't forget that we have seen most of these companies that were spending already, have seen their own account in January. And now we're looking forward to see their corporate action, because we have seen the position in terms of performance, what they have done, but the payout is over. That's why as the companies are releasing what we call market news in terms of board meeting to approve this the final audited account that will come with corporate action in terms of dividend announcement and all those stuff. If it happens and they beat market expectation, we also expect that this is going to also go a long way to support the market between now and end of the month. I said it earlier that this is the month that even fund managers and also some portfolio managers want to really look at their portfolio, so that portfolio edge up, kind of step up a little, so that they can earn good commission. For that the direction will always come. That is why quarterly movement at the end of the quarter is significant in our market for many years. It's also a kind of a trend that have been repeated itself in the market. If we believe that and also want to invest with that, that means as we are taking position before now, not like I said, all those ones in buy and sell signal to hold their position and what. Let's see the outcome of the meeting. But I said it earlier, and what I want to repeat here, I don't see MPC meeting increasing rate at this meeting. Why I said so? If you look at the body language of CBN, you will tell that they are not ready to adjust rate now, because they are still watching the economic recovery. It has not come to say that our economic recovery is strong and you can sustain it at this level. We are still having a fragile recovery, if I may say, because if you look at all the growth we have recorded so far, I'll tell you it's because we are based on a 0 year, or what we call a year base. On that, that is why we are seeing it. But now, this is the 2022. We want to see whether there's real economic growth. When we comparing it to 2021, we saw how 2021, the growth in terms of GDP figure, we are moving up. It maintained a sustained trend, but as we like also declining. No, the first one was 5 points, the other one was 4 points. The last one for the quarter was 3 points. Nice something. It's also declining. We want to see this year, when we see the first quarter GDP, where we know we are going. That's why for me, they will want to start to see the GDP, start patient to see the end of GDP, the GDP for first quarter 2020. Also, we are seeing that inflation also is looking up gradually again. That will not, no, they can't quickly jump into increasing rate because if they do that, I said it earlier, in one of the program that they will deflate the recovery we have seen so far in the economy. For that, they also want to be meticulous and also manage effectively. Yes, I know that the team is trying and trying to make sure that this economy maintain this tempo because all the moves are driving to that will have certain economy that can create jobs at the same time, sustain the recovery. But the good thing is that if you look at the over the weekend, there was an announcement that was made that the Central Bank of Nigeria have reduced the interest rate on intervention loans to 5% from 9% effect from what February 28, 2022 to 1 year. That means till now, till 2023, which I have said earlier before now, but now another one came yesterday. They have reduced from 9% to, before it was to extend it to 2023, but now they have reduced the rate of the interest from 9 to 5. It gives you a sense of that these guys are not ready because they want this sector that have sustained the economy so far to have fun also to survive. Don't forget that the major sector are agricultural sector, by manufacturing, power, and the healthcare. These are the major sectors that the intervention was done. No, for that, we expect that this was to sustain the economy. If that is what we are expecting, I believe that this recovery will also be sustained if this rate is maintained. And also, if you look at what happened in the financials of the banks for 2020, 21, because that's the 2021. Remember that CPN adjusted also the loan to deposit from 60 to 65. And if you look at the books of the banks that have released so far, especially the first year bank, can see all of them have grown their loan deposit and also they are blended out. It tells you that these are what we expect banks to do more so that the funds can be available to drive business, especially at this period that importing goods are very, very high. That means if you want to import, they're going to import like inflation to the economy. It's time to encourage the local manufacturers and at the same time backward integration to do that will source our materials here. If that happens, that will be a long way also to affect this company locally here. But I believe that those companies that have done backward integration and the sectors that are also enjoying this facility from central bank, for example, the agricultural sector, where we have seen with good performance in that sector, with this additional news now that because government have about 1 trillion was sent to that sector for intervention for 2020 to date. For me, if it is maintained, we'll see that companies in these sectors, power, manufacturing and healthcare, we expect them to do more in this current year for that because they are not having access to cheaper funds. Away from 9%, you are servicing your loan to about 25, it will give you a kind of source of bit out. That will also reflect on the number. We know that yes, cost of things are high and inflation is going up. But if you are in a sector where your product or services is where even when you adjust your price, it will not affect your sale. For me, that means as an investor, this is what we'll be looking at, and that is why the coming master class, I will encourage you to make time and be available because that strong stocks and strong sector will be discussed, and those factors that made them strong will also be discussed, and the stocks to position for at least of 25% for within the 91 days will be there. In the last master class that was held, in January 2nd, I'll tell you as to speak now, out of 5 stocks that were given, 3 have delivered minimum of 25%. One was 51, one was 35, and the last one was there. Then these 2 that are remaining, only one is a negative of 6, while the other one that remaining is of 10% profit. If you are in that position, also want to repeat such by God grace, in the coming April 2nd, make yourself available and be in the class because I believe all this is going to play out and this market will become more attractive for every one of us to enjoy. If there will any rate adjustment at all in this part of the world, it should be from second half of the year, knowing that this pre-election year, there are about to be kind of professional activities that funds will start coming, depending on what happens. CPN can adjust because that is why the MPC meeting is so nearly every 2 months to monitor the growth of what is happening in the economy and adjust it to that. That is why they drive the economy, the monetary policy, and other economic managers to put the economy. But with this, I expect that we're expecting to see kind of adjustment in the NPR. NPR is like to remain at 11.10. For 11.5, they can adjust any other thing, but this one will remain at that level. But I believe on that, we will see a bit stable kind of stable economy or recovering economy, that if they do any adjustment, that it won't affect, and that also trigger flow of funds into the economy. Like I said, if you remember on Friday, that the kind of other memo from debt management office that opt for Eurobond, and if that is achieved and money comes, it's going to also boost our kind of our reserve. That also kind of put an attraction for investment here, because we have enough reserve to support it. And at the same time, like I said, the fixed income market, real expectation of rising in yield and also to slow down. It might not come immediately as expected, but good thing is that it has the way of impacting what the equity market, because inflation is already looking up. That means if most of them in that fixed income market, they might likely also to see a kind of their negative return increasing, and which is not comfortable for most of them. We expect funds to start making the way of equity. If that comes, that is why as an investor, you need to look at where institutional investors play, because they want to diversify their portfolio. And you see, I told you earlier in this class that when you institutional investor, you want to look at volume, look at spike, look at what is behind. You will know, because volume will tell you, and also the what I call that volume and a breakout will tell you what is happening at that particular time. Is it following institutional investors that are coming? And also don't forget that institutional investors, they don't invest the way retail investors invest. Like all these numbers we're seeing that are good, they have to analyze it and send it for approval. When they start buying, that is why if you see they're coming, they don't come immediately. That's why when you see good number, they are not reacting it. They are studying it. As well, they make recommendation, but when they approve, they start buying, consider volume. So what happened in Presco, and would there this kind of extension, Presco and Okomo, even livestock, I see a kind of a life wire that's going to support them more again, and that will be a plus for that sector, because this adjustment down for the rate for agricultural sector, which there are many of them, but this one that ones are listed, for me, it's a good one for us to also look at when we're taking a decision in the market. So I believe that this last 2 weeks or a week and a half for this month of March, we might see activity, but at the end of MPC tomorrow, when they come with their communique, that will change the face of the market. So the market is dull, the market is looking there somehow. But let's go to the state of the market as we speak. Don't forget that this is the time to use your stop loss, your stop loss, your entry and exit strategy will be in intact. Hold it. Your profit target, don't be greedy. Take away emotion at this point. Anytime you're in the market, take away emotion. Invest with facts and data, especially also sentiment in the market. Which is why I tell you, if you don't want to trade the market, you must not to use your technical analysis, so that you read people's psychology, their sentiment, which each candle will tell you at any given time, whether you are using a 5-minute chart, 10-minute chart, you are using a 5 minutes, 45 minutes, a day chart, weekly chart, a monthly chart, quarterly, or a year. It will go to give you sentiment, the behavior, kind of psychology of people. What are they seeing? What is the mode of investor in the market? That's why we want to go to the market now as we speak. Let's look at what the market is doing. At this current hour, I will tell you the market is really on a pullback, strong on a negative sentiment. Why I say so? Because as we speak, we're having 12 losers against 30 just gainers in the market. This is a negative market what bread. And this top losers, about 12 against 30 gainers. The top losers as we speak now are ROTB School, Profit Taking, we have a Champion Brewing, IQ Insurance, USCN, and National Salt, which is called NASCOM. These are the top. Then among these, I think we can see the life of UBA. UBA was adjusted for the dividend of 80 Kubu, UCAP, and FBN Holding. These are the ones that are in the losers chart as we speak. While the three gainers only this morning are just livestock and livestock feed and GT Code and Zenith Bank are on the gainers chart. These are the three. But when we talk of top trade, I think that the volume traders so far, what I tell that volume is very, very important. Why is volume? It tells you what is happening. When you see light volume, when you see heavy volume, it gives you that especially at the state of the market where you see the volume, is it at the value area of the technical analysis, or no, is it out of the value area? These are things that you also understand when you are trading with charts. Then for those that top trade, what the UBA top the chart this morning, UBA followed by Transcorp, GT Code, and the Access Bank and Fidelity. I can see that the banking sector or banking stocks are the ones dominating the top trade. And don't be surprised, these are also the sector that has volume that you can go in and out. Today that people see, or investors or traders see UBA adjusted to as low as 7 naira 80 kobo, because of the dividend of Etikobo. So no kind of attraction for them, knowing that UBA first quarter will come in April. And not that UBA, as partner with a company to expand its footprint, in the Africa, continent. For me, it's a good one for UBA because the number they released for full year 2021 was not a bad one. That tells you that this bank is going somewhere. Then access, market are still trying to, adjust, to kind of balance the impressive number and the low payout there, according to perception. But for me, what access did was not bad, it's a good one. Then Fidelity and GTCO, the market also looking for the markdown date. They also declared final dividend of 2.70 kobo, while access was 70 kobo. We're still looking forward to see that of Fidelity. I know that the Fidelity any moment from now, that also should be in the market. Once you hit the market today, tomorrow, or before the week runs out, you might likely see Fidelity result, and that also change the face of Fidelity. This is the state of the market as to speak. But I believe that as the afternoon traders come to the market, they're going to watch what is happening. I told you because of the NPC meeting, but I tell you the position, I'm still on my position that I don't see them adjusting anything. But market is done this morning. We're seeing more losers than gainer as we speak. And as I mentioned earlier, the big boys in that gainer chart are FBN Holding, UBA, UCAP, and USCN. And these are the major, and the national stock. These are the major stocks that have put the market down in that aspect as we speak now. But quick one, we want to look at the chart as usual. We cannot do our education without looking at the state of the market and how to benefit from it immediately. But we're now looking at what is happening in the market now. We want to look at the what we call the index action. The index action. You can see the index action here. This is what it is now. You can see that market is looking down here. If you look at, and you can see that the volume traded so far is far below the average traded volume. You can see that this black line, I always tell you, is the once it crosses, it tells that is above the average traded volume for the day. Now this is a day chart I'm looking, but let's quickly look at the 1 hour chart here to see what the market is doing. You can see that it becomes clearer that market is pulling back already on the 1 hour chart. You can see the market is pulling back. Then on 45 minutes, let me quickly do that one before you can also the same pattern with 1 hour chart. That is what that. But let's change this line to what a candlestick robot. Now go back to 1 hour first to see the candlestick formation for 1 hour chart. Yes, you can see the candlestick formation for 1 hour. You can see even at 1 hour market decided to kind of see the position of the market now. This is what happened on Friday, and the market lost this almost 0.15 on Friday. Now market is still trying to flat here on an hour chart, but the day chart will give us a clear picture where the market is now. Market is also in red. As I said earlier, market is still pulling back. You can see this oscillation here, or oscillation from here to here is still there, but as we speak now, market is still above 7,000. For 200 and 200,000, for 7,200. I think that is what the market is doing now, still above it. It has not gone below that. Market has is at 47210.44. That is what the market is doing now. It has not crossed down 20. But I told you earlier that once market crossed down the 47 mark, that is what confirmed a good decline. As we speak now, market has also remained in distribution phase. You can see that it's still going down. Once it breaks that 47, it will now confirm a decline stage of the market. Market is still at distribution stage. For that, you also know what to do at this phase of the market. Especially if you are in profit, don't be greedy. As market is in the distribution phase, before you enter decline or breakout to continue the rally, or you should know how to position your portfolio. And this is part of what I would like to do, because I have from my years experience in the market that most of our investors or traders know when to buy stock, know when to sell. But now we want to tell you how to sell and sell in profit, how to tell you what you're going to use. But most time after you have jumping from your position, that company has more potential to rally, but you have exited, coming back at a high price, it becomes difficult for you. What you sold at low and it's high. Because when you are buying there, you are buying little volume. For that, you are discouraged. But if you have a strategy on how to know, or how to take profit step by step, to go a long way to help you. This is the state of the market now. But normally, that we will not do anything more here until we follow our our indicators. Bollinger Band here, we need to call it. You can see it. Market has crossed below the 20 days moving average on Bollinger Band. You can see that it's almost trading at the at the top of the lower Bollinger Band, despite the volatility here, or we call the momentum here, is still very, very what small. You can see that from here, you can see good one. You can hear that it's low and has crossed down. Then we'll go ahead to see other indicators. MACD is a very good indicator that will help you to know what is happening, whether there's divergent and all. It will give you a lot of signs. If you not use MACD is very, very good at any given time of the market. Yes, we have seen our MACD, our money flow, and our 8 days exponential, our T line. If you remember, that is the common name. Either you call it T line or trigger line. Either T line or trigger line. Anyway, you can call it, because it gives you trigger to sell, trigger to buy, and trigger what? To hold. It gives you infinite information. That is why I call it either T line or trigger line. Anyone you feel like calling it. And at the same time, it serves as what? The T line serves as well, either Fibonacci, to let you know exactly where it can touch and bounce back. Because if you touch it and bounce back, when it crosses down, give another signal. When you touch and bounce back, another signal entirely. Yes, you can look at the market now to speak. You can see that even when the market is on this side trending, or what I call a consolidation stage, you can see that the MACD has been kind of bearish. You can see it here with this histogram, this red histogram you are seeing here. But now it tried to come up again. We are still waiting. That's why I said this histogram is telling you the state of the market as to speak. But see that on a daily chart, on a day chart, market was going up. But these days I can see that money flow is coming now. That means funds are leaving the market as we speak. But look at it, but still above 50 for looking down as we speak. Like I said, once after the MPC meeting, we'll see the sentiment going to change the market. But as we speak, this is the state of the general market. But most times I said that when you see the market direction has 50% influence on the individual stock, the general market direction. But that does not mean that if you want to buy stock, you want to go to look at the stock you are buying, or look at the general market to tell you the state of the market, so that you know exactly what is happening or what to do. Then after this one now, we're going to look at the livestock chart, and this is the stock that have suffered losses in recent time. But today we are seeing it as among the three gainers chart. Let's look at livestock chart and that of GT code before we round up the class for today. And I believe at the end of this class, if you got something tangible that you are taking home to impact your portfolio at the end of the day. Let's look at the stocks that have suffered losses of recent time. What is it at a good price you want to buy? What is MACD saying? What is your T line saying? Is it time to jump in? Because one thing that stock is trying to make an uptrend, but is it the right time to buy? That is why your PE is very, very important. Like I always say that your fundamental will tell you stocks that you can put in your watch list. Then the price to buy and the price to exit is the work of your TA. That is the technical analysis. That's why I don't joke with technical analysis in my analysis. In our company, that is our major strength. We look at it to see what is happening, but you can't invest without combining the two, fundamental and technical, so that you can stay ahead of the market. If you do that, I think your mistakes will be very small and your winning side will be on the high side. Yeah. So let's look at what is happening in this livestock as we speak now. What is the state of the company and what can you do from here? You can see from here, this is stock as kind of from a oscillating movement before it finally take. You can see the trend from here to here. You can see this is a downtrend already on this stock. But let's take it into our candlestick pattern. You can see for yourself. Look at the movement. This morning you can see where it is now on a hourly chart. Yes, it's up marginally around the 160 to 170. The price that is doing now. It's at 170, 169 this morning. Let's see how it goes for the day. It's a stock that I can see that it goes up. It started up this morning. Not being bad. Let's bring other indicators to look at this livestock before we now look at GTP. If you look at this Bollinger Band, you can see that as at this point, I can see that activities is increasing, volume we're coming in this stock, but on the negative side, since it crossed the red line here, I'm coming. Let me put other indicators here so that we can explain something. That even that is why Bollinger Band also can help you to catch your entry and your exit point. You know how to use it effectively with other indicators. You know how to combine it. It's going to also help you. MACD and the money flow and our the blue line. Yeah. If you look at this stock now, livestock, you can see where it crossed here down here. You can see the blue line here. It cross the blue line here down, up and down, up and down. It cross the blue line. Once it cross the blue line, you go short. That means you put your position until confirm up at uptrend. When you come uptrend, when it break out the T line again, that is where you can jump. That's why I say it's a form of Fibonacci. Tells you where it stops, resistance, and all that, so that you can know exactly want to jump in. Yes, if you have entered here when it cross the blue line here to this place, you are good. And when it's up here, come again, you sell. No, these are the trend. But as we speak now, the stock is below the what? The stock is above the T line. Let me bring it. Let's see very well here. Let me zoom that place. You need to know where the T line is from here. Yes, you can see that. Yes, as we speak now. No, this is a good sign. You can see the uptrend here, but see, it's above the T line marginally, but you need to, for me, it's above the T line, which is a good one. You can see breakdown here. And once above that, it's a sign of buy. Also, if you look at your MACD here, MACD is trying also to cross the down, and money flow is looking up gradually at 31 point. It's a good sign that this stock one can take position ahead of the number. Now that it has crossed above the T line up, yes, they say that this T line gives you short buy and sell immediately. Once that cross, and also considering this candlestick formation I'm just seeing here, it's a sign that we should watch. Now that we're seeing an uptrend here above the T line, it's a good one. All the indicators are trading the same position. You can see that MACD is always looking up here to cross the red line up, which is good. Then you can see also money flow is coming up gradually at 31. For me, it's a good one for livestock. Knowing that yes, market has cleared this stock from almost 2 naira 40 to go down to this price. Let's watch where it is going from here. Let's look at the GT code. Sorry, GT code. Where is the position of GT code? We want to look at the chart now and see. We have seen the number ahead of the map now, and also the Q1 number. Let's see what is happening in GT code as we speak. Now, GT code will be the last chart we use to round up. So let's watch GT code now as we speak. Equal, uh, yes, this is the GT code chart. You can see it here. You can see that to look up marginally here up. You can see the formation, what has happened from here. You can see, try to see. These are why chart don't like. It tells you what has happened in the past and what is likely to also to happen ahead. That's why chart can be used to do some focus at any given time. Yes, let's turn this chart to a candlestick. So for easy, reading and direction, you can see identical has make an uptrend here today, but still come. I can see this positive here line here. This kind of uptrend before coming down, but still it closed, still trading above what it closed on Friday as we speak now, and the volume is relatively low at the 1-day chart. Let's look at 1-hour chart on GT code 5 color that one. You can see it here now. Yeah, you can see what is happening. But let's go to the 1-day chart and bring our T line, because I want to look at something here. The legal band on GT code, sorry. Then also look at the MACD, the money flow, and the T line, trigger line, you know what we call it, the T line, trigger line. It's very, very important. It's a line that I use most time when my private trading, and you can see now to speak now. It just today now, yesterday, Friday night, it crossed above the C line. But we want to look at here and see there is also here you can see on the daily. Let me change this to a weekly chart. Let's see exactly what is happening there. Let's see one week. Let's see what is happening. You can see stock is still let's wait and see. And the look at that the stock is still strong, trying to resist decline. I can see, but money flow on the weekly chart is looking down at 45, which is not too good, but it's looking down. Let's watch. Let me look at the day chart again. One day chart. One day chart. You can see that MACD is still trying to cross the down from down. You can see a little kind of recovering above the T line marginally, but below the 20 days moving average, but above the T line marginally. We have to wait for the candlestick to give us a clear signal before we can take decision here. But on the strength of the dividend payout for those income investors that want consistent income even on quarterly, like every half year they pay and the full year, one can also expect that also the new holding structure, the holding structure, and also acquisition of others, and also we expect that going to the future we might see improvement in this bank. But nothing stops you for taking your dividend in this stock because they are consistent, and if the numbers start going up again, it will change the face of the bank. On that note, we'll round up this session with GDP this morning. Yes, I say thank you all for this hour, for all that join, and I say enjoy the rest of your trading day, and we look forward to seeing you in the coming master class. The rate of need to book, because the rate of people booking now, that your space will be there. If not, we'll tell you that the space our adjusted the seats, but I will appreciate you that you go and make your payment now. I think I can see that many of us in this market need to know knowledge, and people are going after that knowledge, and that is how to control or kind of manage your portfolio, and at the same time manage risk. When you know how to manage it in a volatile market like ours now, as well, as election year, and also going to the future, all those surprises in the market, how can you spot those surprises and say those surprises, and that stocks are giving us surprises on the exchange, and how can you spot those stocks? And that's why you need to be at the training, because all the professionals with experience will also be sharing their strategies with you. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of